We're joined in the studio by the Vice Chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Davis Ansah Opoku. He's also a Member of Parliament for the good people of Imprai. So, Honorable, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, before we get into assessing the work of the committee over the period, you appear to have had some questions for SNIT. Well, what were these questions?
Well, I think I had a couple of questions, and as Vice Chairman of the committee, I mean, I'm clothed with the responsibility to question them, especially on the findings of the Auditor General. And I think the exciting bit had to do with the hotels. Because you see, SNIT I mean, it's an institution that holds monies for pensioners.
True.
And when they invest these monies in ventures that ought to be profitable and it ends up to be running at losses, I think it's important for us to bring these matters to the fore and to ensure that, I mean, these ventures that are not profitable are let go, so that, I mean, they focus on areas where it will bring profit to the benefit of pensioners. And so it was quite interesting that for the past 3 years, we still have not had any strategic investor showing interest in the hotels that are defunct, the hotels that continue to rely on even SNIT to pay their electricity bills. And for me, it points to one thing very clear. The politicization of issues in this country, I mean, hurts the country. I mean, if a local investor has what it takes to invest in these hotels that are running losses, I think we ought to encourage them. And I'm one person who has been a champion of local investors taking over state interest that needs a bit of surgery, for that matter.
Very well, very well. The committee has often been criticized of having backlogs. So how would you assess the pace of work, I mean, for this particular sitting of the committee, and of course, vis-a-vis the number of cases you had to look at?
This is my 5th year on the committee, and I was a deputy ranking member during the Avegi era.
Okay.
I think one thing we did so clear was to clear the backlog. So as we speak, we are considering 2024 report of the Auditor General, which is the most current report of it. We had about 16 reports. As of today, we have done 10 out of the 16 reports. There are some reports that we ought to go around the country and visit some capitals and to ensure that we meet the people at their doorsteps. I think it helps a lot and it cuts down a lot of costs. We'll be doing that early next year. It shows how current the committee is and how helpful the committee is helping save some monies. Sometimes people feel that the Public Accounts Committee do not do much. But let me give you a revelation. Between 2017 and 2025, the Public Accounts Committee of Ghana's Parliament has saved this nation some 12.5 billion. Some 12.5 billion. And
are these monies recovered?
These are recovered monies. I mean, these are infractions that have been solved. You understand? And so just in the 2024 recovery report that we got, we recovered over 205 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Shows clearly the work of the Public Accounts Committee and, for that matter, Parliament as an institution. So sometimes when people lash the Public Accounts Committee for not doing much, probably it's because we really do not sell these messages out to the people. But if between 2017 to 2024, we've been able to recover over 12 billion Ghana cedis to the state, I think the Ghanaian people must appreciate the role that the public account does in our financial architecture.
Does the work of the committee end after the sittings? I'm asking because some cases have been referred to the AG for prosecution, about 3 of them, I think. So what's been done differently to ensure that the AG's office actually follows through and these cases do not stop?
So see, the work of the committee is not really the referrals to the AG. The work of the committee, one, is to look at how we plug the loopholes in the financial architecture of the country. 2, how we are able to recommend to the plenary some amendments that ought to take place, and also the recommendations we also make to the executives. I think it's important that we appreciate that. Now, in the whole value chain, when it comes to budgeting and government spending and all of that, it starts with the Finance Committee of Ghana's Parliament. Then now the Budget Committee comes in even during the spending period of the executive. Now when they are done and the Auditor General has done his work, it now comes to the Public Accounts Committee. After we have made our findings and reported back to the plenary and Parliament has accepted our report, it now beholds on the institutions to go back and correct the very things that the Public Accounts Committee pointed out to them. Then now, at the various institutions, they now have what they call the Audit Committee. The Audit Committee is now supposed to pick the reports of the Public Accounts Committee, or for that matter, the Auditor General, and ensure that they implement the findings of the Auditor General and the recommendations of the Public Accounts Committee. Once that is done, they now report back to Parliament. But when the report comes, it now goes to the specific sector committees. So for instance, on communications, informations and communications, issues bordering NCA, issues bordering NITA, comes to us for us to scrutinize what is it that we have done.
A sector where you seem to have had a lot of interest.
Well, that's my committee.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, so we find out what is it that you have done since the Public Accounts Committee recommended this. What are the changes that has happened? Then now, there's that follow-up there that goes on and to ensure that the right things are done.
Very well. Now, let's look at the infractions in there. Some quite alarming. So internally, what kind of conversations have you had with committee members to help forestall or like block some of these things from recurring?
What we have sought to do is not to politicize the sittings of Public Accounts Committee. And I think that I need to use this opportunity to commend the two leaders of the committee, Ansah and Samuel Atta-Mills, for showing that leadership. You know, the reports that we are currently considering are infractions that happened under the MPP era. And so, for somebody like Ansah, who was the Minister of State, Minister of State at the Finance, you should expect some relaxation and some
allowing some leeway.
But that has not been the case. She's been very tough, exposing the rot. I mean, and that is how the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament should function. So she's performing her duties as the chairperson of the public, and Atta-Mills is also doing same as a ranking member of the committee. So sometimes when you hear people lash but these things happen during MPP's times and look at what she's doing, and we are not there to look at political parties. We are there to scrutinize institutions of state.
It brings me to my next question on the relevance of the committee's work, owing to the fact that most often than not, the committee sits at a time that persons, or if like persons suspected to have committed these infractions, are out of office.
No. See, the powers of the committee, or the committee's powers, emanates from Article 103 and 187 of Ghana's Constitution, which empowers Parliament to investigate the accounts of government institutions. And that is where PAC comes in. I mean, the body or the person responsible for auditing government accounts is the Auditor General. Now, there's an auditing here, and the Auditor General is supposed to report to Parliament by June after the auditing year. So if by December he finishes with his audit, he does his investigation from January to whatever, by June he needs to report. Then we pick it up and investigate. And so it is not during the budgetary year that the Auditor General goes in to audit the books of state institutions. It is after the spending is done that he goes in to investigate. So we can only act after the Auditor General has submitted its report to the Public Accounts Committee.
Very well. Very well.
Once that is done, then we kick in to investigate the matter. And so, I mean, last year, like I mentioned, we did back-to-back sittings, considering several reports. We did about 5 or 6 years
to clear the backlog.
And it was during MPP's era.
Very well.
And persons who were involved were still appearing before the committee.
Very well. Very well.
I mean, we have just had just 1 year, and that is why Atamels is chairing. Next year, the report that comes before the Public Accounts Committee will be that of the current administration, and we'll be considering them. And it is very current. That is what happens in several jurisdictions across the globe.
Very well, Davis. We would have to leave it here, unfortunately.
Thank you.
But thank you so much.
I'm sure my cough. My cough.
Other people can understand. I mean, you're working for God and country.
Yes.
Always good to talk to you. Always good to tell you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Davis Ansah Opoku is the Member of Parliament for Empraeso and also Vice Chair on the Public Accounts Committee. Now, away from the